Good morning, my dear students. How are you? I hope you all are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I do believe that you are studying seriously for your pre-test exam that will be after Kurbani vacation. During this critical time, the, you must be staying at home, sanitized, and studying for the exams. Don't waste your time and let us come to study something from your syllabus. So this is Muhammad Emran Hossain, lecturer in English at Rajuk Uttara Model College. Today, this lecture will cover the first 5 rules of changing a sentence from simple to complex and compound. And this is meant for you, and all it will be applicable for your board exam too. Dear students of class 12, you're most welcome to my class today. Let us start. The first one, which is based on though or although. Why am I showing the rule first? Because while changing our sentence from simple to complex and then to compound, you must have to remember the basic key words that guide you to changing the sentences from one form to another. So the first one is based on though or although. You can focus on this. If there is though or although in a complex sentence, uh, the sentence is to be converted to, transformed to simple and compound. To make that sentence a simple one, we need to use in spite of, or we can use a despite. Here is a note for you that to make a sentence simple from complex, where there is a though or although, we need to be certain of not using any preposition which is of after the word despite. This mistake is commonly done by students of your class. So be attentive to this. Focus your attention that after the word despite, we do not use any preposition. Whereas if we use in spite, then we use the preposition of. To make the sentence compound, we can use but or yet. We can have both the possibilities of using but or yet, but it is quite common to use but. Uh, because in many places of Bangladesh, some of your classmates or some students like you may not know that yet can be used. So you can learn it, but in practice, follow but. Let us now have some examples on it. Before I show you how to change this sentence, I would like to explain some points. So this sentence is in simple form. Why is this sentence a simple sentence? Let us first try to understand that point. So what is a simple sentence? A simple sentence is a sentence in which there is only one clause. There might be one, two, or more clauses in a complex and compound sentences. But in a simple sentence, there will be only one clause. And there may be some phrases in a simple sentence. Maybe it is some kind of one phrase, two phrases, or three phrases or more. So a simple sentence is devoid of two or more clauses. Rather, it has only one clause. In some other kind of thoughts, a simple sentence itself is a clause. So what is a clause? A clause is a subject-verb combination. Or you can say a clause is a subject and predicate combination. Sometimes the predicate may not be present, whereas sometimes the subject may not be present. So the latter one has some kind of complexities, like we have the sentence do eat, so in which the subject is not present. So in some cases, say like if I ask you a question, who are you? Uh, you may answer, I am Rana. But if I ask you a question, who did this work? Maybe you will not answer I did this work. Rather, you will just limit your answer to I only, in which we mean on this I to be I did the work. So in this case, the predicate is not present in this sentence. So in some cases, we may have both the subject and the predicate in a clause. In some cases, we have only the predicate or the subject. In most commonly, it is the only the predicate in a clause. So which is commonly seen in compound sentence. We'll focus on that when we come to that. In this one, as we find, in spite of having wealth, which is a phrase, not a clause. So let us focus. Is there any subject in this part? In spite of having wealth, there is no subject in this part. Rather, there is a kind of verb form, which we call participle. What is a participle? A participle is a verb ing form or V3 form or having plus V3 form. So in this case, we are finding verb ing form, which is known as present participle. Normally, our participle acts as an adjective. So here, having is not working as a verb. Rather, it is a verb form, a verbal, which is working as an adjective, as a present participle in this part of the sentence. And together, all together with the words here, we can say this phrase to be a present participle phrase. But in practice, this is a prepositional phrase which begins with a preposition in and ends with a noun wealth. So if we consider having wealth only this part, then this is a present participle phrase. But if we consider the whole part in spite of having wealth, then it will be a prepositional phrase. So in fact, this part is only a phrase. A phrase is a group of words that act as a single part of speech. I repeat, a phrase is a group of words that act as a single part of speech. So here, in spite of having wealth, this whole part is only working as a single word. So it clarifies that this sentence has only one subject, he, and one verb, was. So one subject and one verb combination is normally a simple sentence. If we want to make this sentence a complex one, we need to replace this in spite of having this part by the word though or although. So if we do that, so let us take though. So though, then we need to make this verb ing form a real verb. Before that, we need to know the tense of the sentence, which can be derived from the main clause of the sentence. Here, the clause of the sentence is was, contains the verb was, which is in past indefinite tense. So the past indefinite tense of the verb having will be had. So drop this in spite of and add although had wealth, like that. So now take the subject from the main clause. Here the subject is he. So although he had wealth. Now consider this, although or though he had wealth, he was not happy. Why aren't we making any change to the main clause of the sentence? Because the main clause of the sentence is to be kept unchanged while changing a sentence from simple to complex or to compound. So the main clause is giving us the main meaning of the sentence. So we do not make any major change to that. To make this complex sentence a compound one, we need to use the conjunction but. Remember that we can use the conjunction though or although either in the beginning of the complex sentence or in the middle of the complex sentence. To use though or although in the middle of the complex sentence, we need to take the main clause of the sentence at the beginning, like he was not happy though he had wealth. But to make a compound sentence, we can use the conjunction but. Remember that the word but is a coordinating conjunction, whereas though or although is a subordinating conjunction. So if we use this coordinating conjunction but in the middle of these two clauses and drop this subordinate conjunction though from the complex sentence, it will turn into a compound one. So let us read like that. He had wealth, but he was not happy. I repeat, he had wealth, but he was not happy. That would be the compound one. I think you have understood the major points of changing a sentence from simple to complex and to compound. And this is not something difficult for you. Please focus your attention to the rules, to the example, and then focus your attention to the exercises when I'm showing you. The first one of the exercise, though the driver did not drive so speedily, the car made an unexpected accident. This practice sentence is in complex sentence because it has the subordinate conjunction though, and there are two clauses too. You need to make this sentence simple and compound. Practice 2 is in simple form, whereas I have used the phrase in spite of necessary measures being taken against corruption. So this whole part is the phrase, and the clause of the sentence is the corrupted people are not alarmed yet. As this second practice is a simple one, you need to make this complex and compound. Number 3, the government tried to control the spreading of pandemic coronavirus outbreak, but it has not yet stopped spreading in all the regions of Bangladesh. This sentence is in compound form, as you see that the conjunction but has been used in the middle of the sentence, as I told you in the previous slide. Normally, the coordinating conjunction but is used in the middle of compound sentence where we use two coordinating clauses. As this sentence is in compound one, you need to make this a simple and complex one. So do that. Number 4 is in a complex form. We need to make it simple and compound. So the conjunction, although, is used in the beginning of the sentence, and the main clause is no significant damage has been caused by it. So this is the main clause of the sentence. Number 5 is a compound one, which is to be changed to simple and complex. We can understand that this statement is in compound form because there is the coordinating conjunction but in the middle of the sentence, and the clauses are separated by the conjunction but. So make this a simple and complex one. Let us now move on to the second rule, which states that in simple form we use without plus verb plus ing, whereas we use if plus negative in complex. So if plus negative is normally if plus subject plus negative form. That will be if you do not, if she does not, if they do not, if I did not. So negative form with the conjunction if, and in the compound form we use the conjunction, coordinating conjunction or. Let us try to see an example. Without studying attentively, you'll fail in the examination. This sentence is in simple form, as I have colored the phrasal part, without studying. So I gave this rule without plus verb plus ing. So this is that without, and this is the verb study, and then the ing. Without verb plus ing. So without studying attentively, this whole part is a phrase, and you'll fail in the examination is the clause of the sentence. If you focus your attention to the clause of the sentence, you'll fail in the examination. You'll find that this clause is in the future indefinite tense, for which we can understand that this is the first conditional sentence, so which is in if plus negative. For first conditional sentence, to make this sentence negative with the subject you, we do not use does or did. Normally for first conditional sentence in the if clause, we need to use do not with the subject you. So let us take the subject you and the conjunction if at the beginning of the sentence. So if you, then negative by dropping without. So if you do not study, then the base form of the verb as we have used do not. So if you do not study attentively, then we do not need to make any change to the clause of the sentence, which is the main clause of the sentence. So if you do not study attentively, you will fail in the examination. That will be the complex one. To make this sentence a compound one, we normally need to use imperative sentence at the beginning. So if you do not study attentively, the imperative of this form will be study attentively, and then the conjunction or will retain the negative meaning. So study attentively or you will fail in the examination. That is the compound one. Study attentively or you will fail in the examination. At the beginning of the lecture today, when I showed you the first slide, the first rule, so I say that sometimes we do not need to use the subject with the main clause, with the coordinating clause. Here you can have that proof that there is no subject here. So just a verb plus the extension, which is an adverb. The subject can be imagined here as this is an imperative sentence. The imagined subject is you, but we do not normally use the imagined subject you in direct order. So study attentively or you will fail in the examination. That is the compound form of the statement. Let us now see some practice sentences which are to be completed by you at home. You cannot succeed in life without working hard. Here I have just altered the structure. I have taken the clause at the beginning of the sentence and kept the phrase in the second part of the sentence, in which without working hard indicates us the rule that if plus negative can be used in complex, and the conjunction or can be used in compound form. So this statement is in simple form. You need to make it a complex and compound one. The second practice is also a simple sentence, which is also to be made complex and compound one. So Bangladesh cannot develop a socio-economic condition without receiving education. So without receiving education indicates us that we need to use if plus negative to make it a complex one and or to make it a compound one. Remember that in some cases when the phrase and clause are altered, you need to take the second clause at the beginning and keep the first clause at the end in compound form. Don't forget that. Students cannot improve their result without studying attentively. This is also in simple form, like the first two practices here. So do not be panicked about this. The same, apply the same rule, but in compound form, take the second clause at the beginning and keep the first clause at the second place. The fourth one is in complex form. As you see that I have used the subordinate conjunction if you and the negative form do not. So to make this sentence a simple one, you need to use without plus verb plus ing and the conjunction or to make it a compound one. The fifth practice is also in complex form. Make it a simple and compound one. It is almost like the previous one. So the next one is also in complex form, almost like the previous two examples, previous two practices. So just make it a simple and compound sentence. The next one is the negative form of if you do not, which is unless. So just apply the same rule and it will be a simple and compound sentence. This is rule 3, which states that by plus verb plus ing can be used in simple form, and then if it is used in simple, we can make the sentence a complex one by using if plus affirmative, and a compound one by using and. So here As you focus your attention, you'll find that in the previous row, I stated if plus negative. So now it is about if plus affirmative. So in the rule two, we studied about without plus verb plus ing. But here we are studying by plus verb plus ing for the affirmative version of conditional sentence. And to make the sentence compound, we can use the conjunction, coordinating conjunction and. For example, by studying attentively, you'll get A plus. This is a simple sentence. As you see, by, then the verb study and ing form. By studying, then the adverb attentively, by studying attentively. So to make this sentence a complex one, we need to use if instead of by studying. So let us take the subordinate conjunction if at the beginning of the complex sentence. So if, and then let us take this subject. This subject is in third person singular one, singular form. So we need to use the singular form of verb. So for which we can use IES instead of Y at the end of study. So if he studies attentively, he'll get A plus. That is the complex form. To make it a compound one, we can use he studies attentively and he will get A plus. But that does not give us the correct meaning. To retain the correct meaning, we may use the modal auxiliary verb may here. So he may study attentively and he will get A plus. That will be the best one, but this is also correct. So, as the students of the best institution in the country will have to follow the best one. I mean, he may study attentively and he will get A plus. That is the best one for this sentence. The practice one for rule 3 is in simple form. As you see, the sentence has by working hard, by plus verb plus ing structure at the end of the sentence. So I have altered the sequence. You need to alter the sequence in compound form if needed. We need to make this sentence complex and compound one. The second practice is also in simple form. As you see, the phrase structure by plus verb plus ing at the end of the sentence. So by ensuring mark down properly. To make this a complex one, you need to use if plus affirmative structure here. And a compound one, you need to use the conjunction and. The third practice is in simple 2. To make this sentence a complex one, you need to use the same rule. I mean, if plus affirmative version, and to compound one, use the conjunction and. The fourth sentence is in the complex form, and you need to make this sentence a simple one by using by plus verb plus ing just over here, and use the conjunction and in the middle of the two clauses. The fifth one is in complex form. You need to make it a simple and compound one. The next one is in complex 2. You need to make it simple and compound by using the same formula. The next one is simple form, is in simple form, and you need to make it a complex and compound one. Rule 4 states that if there is as, because, or since as the subordinate conjunctions in the complex form, we need to make the statement simple by using because of, and we need to make the sentence compound by using the conjunction, coordinating conjunction and. We may use the words like so, hence, or therefore with and, but that is not mandatory. That's why I have kept them within bracket. I have also mentioned when or as soon as, just after since, as, or because, but that is a rare possibility. Since, as, or because are enough for this rule at your level. Let us see an example. So this is in simple form. Because of having a mobile, he can talk to his mother. This statement is in simple because the first part of the sentence is a phrase and not a clause. So because of having a mobile phone, this is a phrase. We need to make this a clause to make this sentence a complex or compound one. So let us make this a clause by taking the subject from the main clause, which is he here. The subject is he here. So then the tense of the sentence is to be determined. You can see that I have used the verb structure can talk in the main clause. So we can guess that this is in present indefinite tense. So to use present indefinite tense with the verb have, we need to use singular form with the third person singular subject he. So he has a mobile. That is the clause, and use just since, as, or because at the beginning. Since he has a mobile, he can talk to his mother. To make this sentence a compound one, just drop this conjunction, subordinate conjunction since from the complex form and just use and at the middle of the sentence. So it will be he has a mobile and he can talk to his mother. That is the compound form of the sentence. In the compound form, you can drop the subject, repetition of subject, like, yeah, it's he. He has a mobile and can talk to his mother. That will be quite okay. Here are some practice. For rule 4, we did it because we needed it very much. This is a complex sentence, as we see that the conjunction because is joining two clauses in which the second clause is the subordinate clause. So to make this sentence a simple one, we need to make change in the second clause. So we did it and then make change in the second clause. Use because of or when to and make it a simple one, and use and to make it a compound one. And remember that we need to take the first clause at the beginning and the second clause at the second place. We need to use the second clause at the beginning and first clause at the second place to make it a compound one. The second practice, which is the second practice, is in complex form. We need to make it a simple and compound one by using the same structure to practice one here. The third sentence is in complex form too, so use the same structure. The fourth one is in complex form too, with the subordinating conjunction as in the middle. So similar to the previous 3 practices here, just make it simple and compound. The fifth one is also in complex form, make it simple and compound by using the same structure. The next one is in complex form. We need to make it a simple and compound sentence. Today's last rule is the easiest I have ever seen in my life while changing a sentence from simple to complex and compound. And I think you also find it so easy to change sentences like this. Let us see an example, which is in simple form, adjective plus noun. So he's a pious man. This word pious is an adjective of manner. You can say quality. He is a pious man. This is the structure of adjective plus noun. To make this sentence a complex one, we need to use who, which, or that. And in rare cases, the conjunction whose to make it a complex. Let us see which one matches. So he's a man who, he's a man which, or he's a man that. Certainly the word who matches with the noun man. So which or that will be applicable for objects or things. And the word whose can be applicable when we need to use the possessive form. Here, let us use the word who as it relates to the personal noun related to persons. He's a man who is pious. That is the complex form. And to make it a compound one, we need to use the conjunction and then the subject again. So in this case, as he is a person, we'll use the subject he. So the compound form will be he is a man and he is bias. I think you have found it the easiest one in your life. So practices are based on this ruler. It is Dhaka, which is an exceedingly busy city. This is a complex sentence. You need to make it a simple and compound one. Cox's Bazar is an awfully beautiful sea beach. I should have used the word very beautiful or extremely beautiful or attractively beautiful or alluringly beautiful sea beach, like that. To make it simple, this is in simple form. To make it a complex one and compound one, use the structure like who, which, that, and in compound use the conjunction and then subject. The third one here is in simple form. You need to make it a simple and you need to make it a complex and compound sentence by using the same structure as exercise number 2 here. The fourth one is also a simple sentence, and you can make it a complex and compound sentence by using the rule stated at the previous slide. The fifth one is again a simple sentence. You can make this complex and compound sentence by using this structure showed in the previous slide. The next one is in complex form, and you need to make it a simple and compound sentence. The next is it is very unexpected and unprecedented disease. Okay, you see that the conjunction and is used in the middle of the two clauses here, and you need to make it a complex and compound one. Why am I saying that you need to make it a complex and compound one, although there is the conjunction and in the middle of the sentence? So you can make this a complex and compound one because this sentence is in simple form. How can we understand that although there is the conjunction and here, why is it simple even then? It's because this sentence does not have two clauses. Rather, it has only one clause, which is dominated by one subject and one verb. The subject is it and the verb is. And unexpected and unprecedented are two adjectives joined by the conjunction and. When the coordinating conjunction and joins two nouns or two adjectives or two adverbs, it does not make the sentence compound. Rather, it just adds adjectives or adverbs or nouns only to retain the sentence as guided by the number of subjects and verb, and the any other conjunction if there is in the sentence. This is therefore a simple sentence, and you need to make it a complex and compound one. Okay, that is all for today. I think you will be solving all the practices I have shown here in the slides. And maybe when the situation recedes to normal condition again, your teachers will be checking your homework as I gave in these slides. Thank you, my dear students, for giving me your attention. Please let me know if you have not understood any point here in this slide, in this lecture. I'll be pleased to answer your questions in the comment sections if regarding the rules, but if regarding the practices, wait for the normal situation. If not, let us know in the regular Zoom classes. Stay at home, stay safe, stay sanitized. I pray that the Almighty Allah will keep you all safe from the dangers of coronavirus. Allah Hafiz, my dear students. I think if you like my lecture, you can subscribe to my channel. Allah Hafiz. See you again in the second lecture on this same topic, covering from rules 6 to 10. See you then in the next class.